let's get to what you want to talk about.
I think the biggest, because people always, what else do you want to talk about besides masks? All you're doing is talk about masks. No,
Right.
no, that's not true. I've talked about many things in these meetings. But one thing I haven't talked about is an idea that I have that I think would really, if it doesn't solve the problem, at least it puts the onus on the people in their own community to solve the problem. I don't understand why this is why I said earlier to you that 115 school districts is an important number, because that means there are school districts that aren't a part of their county. I don't know why Johnston County Public Schools or any Harnett County is just a county-wide school district. Harnett County, I believe, has 19,000 kids. And
That's
probably
right, about 19,000.
Yeah. And probably what, 25, 26 schools or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere there, right? So you're about half of what we have.
Right.
And I believe you guys have 5 school board members.
That's
so
correct.
you've got 5 school board members controlling 19,000, and then you probably got another 4,000 in staff. So 23,000 people that 5 people are in complete control of. And they're really not, though. In terms of health decisions, they're supposed to go off of the health board, which tells them what to do based off of money that they've taken and things like that, which we can talk about that as well.
Right.
But Johnston County has 7 people on the school board of education. We've got 45 schools and roughly 37,000 plus another 4,000 or 5,000 staff. So 42, 43, somewhere in there. It doesn't make any sense. If they're like, for instance, Johnston County Schools is closed tomorrow.
So it's Harnett.
I can tell you right now, I've driven all over the place yesterday or earlier today. There is nothing on the road. There's nothing on the road. There's no eyes. But because we are a county-wide school system, if there's one road that's got some big oak tree that's covering up, and there's a little bit of ice on that road, and a bus goes over that road, the entire county is shut down. Now, I'm not saying that that bus should have to drive on the road. What I am saying is the county shouldn't be making decisions. So what I am advising and will be promoting when I get elected to the Board of Education, I'm literally going to try to remove my job. We should not have
the Ron Swanson approach.
We should. I'm just thinking about Bacon when you bring him up.
Yeah.
So we should not have a county-wide board of education. We should take each major high school and their feeder schools and make them their own district. This is what almost every other state does. Almost every other state does this. So, for instance, South Johnston, which is Benson area. So you'd have all the feeder schools come out of their Meadow, Benson Middle, 4 Oaks Elementary, 4 Oaks Middle. All those would be their own. Triple S, Smithfield, Selma, that area. Clayton would have their own. Whatever. You'd have probably 6 or 7, but honestly, you could probably narrow it down to 5 if you wanted to. But if we could do that, then you put the people that actually live in that community to be in charge and have their own, voice heard on their own board of education. They would have their own. I don't know how that works out in terms of busing and everything else. And of course, there's teacher unions and all of that. But if there are 5 other districts in the state, 15 other districts, there's already been a precedent. That means it can happen. And I really think that solves everything. And if it doesn't solve everything, then it's on you.
I completely agree with that approach, because look at Harnett County last week. Omicron numbers are going through the roof, and other school systems the week before decided that we're going to shut down our entire school system for 3 days this week, and then we're going to go remote for a week and things like that. I was happy to see that Harnett took a more creative approach, and they only remoted 3 schools on Wednesday, and then I think they remoted another 3 on Thursday. That's the same thing we could do with snow. We were out driving around today as well in Harnett County. The roads look great, but there's a few spots that maybe a 2-hour delay would be
Right.
appropriate. But closing the entire school system, we've gotten too comfortable canceling school or calling off work. We've gotten way too comfortable with that.
Well, yeah, you've been conditioned.
Yeah.
Is what that is. And here's the other thing that I ask my wife all the time: if we did virtual for almost an entire year,
Yeah.
why are schools closed?
Right.
So if they have to have a snow day or whatever, why can't we just everybody get out your Chromebooks
Yeah.
and we're going to do virtual?
It's not
You know what?
perfect, but it's better than canceling.
It's better than canceling, especially with our failing children.
Yeah.
Because of their failing school system and how they're failing them.
Yes.
I mean,
We're absolutely failing these kids.
I don't understand. It's kind of like, you know, in the NFL, you know, I said earlier I was a Browns fan. You know, our coach wasn't able to, because he had COVID, like week 16 or something like that, and he has COVID and he's not allowed to coach. I'm like, well, why can't he just be in his basement with a headset on,
or put him up in a box by himself?
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's just, so what's funny is when my wife decided to take that stand for everybody's rights and say, I'm not doing this. We talked to them about, hey, you've got a virtual academy. Could she do that? And they said, absolutely, she can. However, she has to come to a building and put a mask on. I mean, it's the dumbest thing in the world. She's in no contact with anybody. There's no way she's going to, if this was literally the plague, she couldn't get anybody sick, but they were still going to require her to wear a mask. And that just tells you that it's not about health.
No.
It's not about science. It's not about everybody's well-being. It's about an agenda.
Yeah.
And Joe Preston and his family and others like me are not going to stand for that. And people really need to understand that you can stand up too. I'm not asking you to make the same sacrifice that I'm making. If you can, please do. But we didn't know what was going to happen. And that's why I said at the very beginning, when you asked me to describe myself, the first thing I said was a Christian. I have full faith in God that he is going to take care of us. He's always taking care of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't live an unbelievable, you know, incredible, great life where we're going to sandals every year and, you know, whatever. I mean, we just live a life. And that's okay. You got to have faith. And if you can make a sacrifice to take care of your family and the principles that you hopefully support, please do.